The Georgia Bulldogs have gone back-to-back, got themselves a second one in as many years. Final score was 65-7. They absolutely took care of business against TCU. There's a lot to unpack with this one, but starting with the offensive side of things, we told you they're going to come out swinging, and swinging for them looks like throwing to set up the run. Stetson Bennett came out, he was dealing. A lot of what they did physically was in between the 20 and the goal line, kind of that red zone areas when they really got physical, and we saw Stetson Bennett tuck it and run. We saw them hand the ball off and do the power scheme. Like, they still had their physical will imposed. But even with that being said, Stetson Bennett was dealing all night long. The offense went through him. They trusted him to go out and win this game for them. So offensively, 65 points. Stetson Bennett was sitting in the fourth quarter, got his curtain call. It was a beautiful thing, and you're so happy for him and what he was able to accomplish at Georgia and have a night like this to put an exclamation mark on it. But they went from winning with Stetson Bennett to now winning because of Stetson Bennett. Like we said in the previous video, Stetson Bennett was the catalyst to the entire offense. But offensively, they executed to a T. Like, Stetson Bennett deserves a ton of credit, but how about Brock Bowers? I believe his prop was like under 60-ish yards on the night. He crushed that in the first half. I mean, dude was a matchup problem. A.D. Mitchell, matchup problem. When money was on the table, Georgia cashed in. And this game could have gotten interesting if they were to have a turnover here or give the ball away there and maybe allow this TCU team to have some life. That wasn't the case. As a unit, from the trenches to the backfield to the playmakers on the outside to Brock Bowers, they had total domination. Every single guy won their matchup routinely. Really quickly, if you haven't yet subscribed, we got you covered, man. Confetti's on the ground. I mean, look at right there. It's kind of a weak confetti toss. It's on the ground. It's here college football season. For a lot of folks, it's coming to a close. Not us here, okay? We got you covered year-round. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're locked in. We want you a part of this, all right? Also, follow me on the socials at JD Pickell on Twitter and on Instagram. Let's talk about the defense, because they held a program to 188 yards total. And that same program was averaging 40 points a game coming into this contest and put up an absolute clinic against Michigan. And the thing that stuck out to me, the thing that we talked about during the week that paid dividends come game time, the team speed. Because TCU had made a living off of misdirection and getting teams running and playing in space and just being able to out-track meet a lot of these teams. That had worked for a lot of programs, or for a lot of games against other programs, not against Georgia. That linebacking group, Jamon Dumas-Johnson, Smile Munden, Javon Bullard, player of the game defensively, like, they all stepped up to the plate in terms of what was required of them in this game. Was really impressed by the way they were able to eat up angles and run with the motions. Like, they were never able to circle the Georgia defense. And it wasn't so much because Georgia did something crazy scheme-wise. They just had better personnel and were able to run with what TCU wanted to do. There was no advantage in space for TCU, is what I'm trying to tell you. So the plan was phenomenal, but I think at the end of the day, the personnel, for my money, is what allowed Georgia to be so dominant and hold TCU to 7 points. I mean, good night. So we've said it before in other videos. We told you going into this game, here's what's the reality now for Georgia. You now have once again recalibrated the standard for yourself internally, but across the landscape in college football. Because you've done something that no other program has done ever in the college football playoff era, gone back to back. And so Kirby Smart said it in the press conference. We said it in our video that's already been out now for a little bit. They can't get complacent. It can't be a thing of pat ourselves on the back, we inherit success. That's not going to be the way they get down at Georgia. And so now more success creates more emphasis on what you do internally, more emphasis on not becoming complacent, because there's going to be opportunity for it. You know it and I know it. With more success becomes more possibility, more potential for you to think that you've got some swag about yourself. They're going to have some swag. They expect to be the big dog again next year. That's what they now expect from themselves as a fan base. But internally, to get back to the mountaintop, it's going to take the same ingredients, if not a little bit more, to have some more red and black confetti in Houston. But if there's somebody that can do it, if there's someone leading your program that you want to get that done, it's Kirby Smart. So congratulations to Georgia, 65-7, just an absolute clinic, handing out T-shirts and juice boxes on the way out to the good folks at TCU. Georgia is your national champions once again. Final score again, 65-7. Again, we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you rocking with us all season long. There's a lot more content coming your way, but thank you again for allowing us to get here to SoFi and to cover this the way that we have wanted to all season long and the way that you've allowed us to all season long. So thank you. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.